battle with Aileen Cannon. Special counsel Jack Smith is in a lose-lose battle with the judge in Donald Trump's classified documents case. You have former federal prosecutor Nima Rami explain that the more Smith challenges U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon's rulings to a higher court, the easier it will be for Trump to delay the case past the 2024 presidential election. Ramani said Donald Trump could then kill the case completely if he was elected to a second term at the White House. Even with Smith's latest plea, Cannon only partially granted the prosecutor's request in agreeing to keep the names of FBI agents, Secret Service agents, and other potential witnesses in the case under seal. In a 24-page order, the judge refused to categorically block witness statements from being disclosed, saying that there was no bias for such a sweeping and blanket restriction on their inclusion in pretrial motions. For his part, former President Donald Trump is also defending Cannon against critics and some individuals who he says are disrespecting the judge. He said on Truth Social how crooked Joe Biden and his crew of hacks and thugs, led by Merrick Garland and deranged Jack Smith, are working overtime to try and illegally intimidate and harass respected federal Judge Aileen Cannon. He said that they are calling her terrible names, wrongfully threatening her with impeachment, and disrespecting her, all because they want her to act like the dishonest, politically biased, and conflicted judges in New York, and not like the fair and impartial judge that she is. Well, it's about time that we take a look at this legal saga between Judge Aileen Cannon and special counsel Jack Smith over Donald Trump's classified documents case. You guys ready? All right, let's go ahead and jump right in here. So first, you have former acting Attorney General Whitaker explaining how Donald Trump was perfectly within his rights to keep those documents, much like how Clinton used the same defense when they found those recordings in his sock drawer. Do you guys remember that one? Check this out.
One of the Trump trials, Jack Smith back in the news today, pushing back on the judge in the documents case for entertaining Donald Trump's team for saying these were all of his documents. These were his personal papers. He should be allowed to keep them. You should not be charging him. Jack Smith is outraged. He says he never told anybody they were his documents.
Yeah, but that kind of buries the lead. And what
that the courts find that the special counsel's sweeping requests and generalized rationales inadequate to overcome the public's common law interest in access to those materials. Let me repeat that for you guys. Inadequate. That's how she described what Jack Smith has been trying to do here. As a man, you never want to be referred to as being inadequate. I'm just saying. In this particular case, Cannon refused to censor FBI interviews with Walt Nauta, Donald Trump's former personal assistant, who was alleged to have hidden classified documents at Donald Trump's request. So Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, a Mar-a-Lago maintenance worker, they're accused of moving boxes of sensitive materials around Donald Trump's Florida home to prevent federal agents from finding them and conspiring to delete security footage that had been sought under a subpoena. Smith has made it clear to Cannon on multiple occasions that he's against revealing the names of FBI witnesses to the public. He's worried about potential intimidation, given what's happening to witnesses in other cases tied to the former president, with supporters getting involved. Now, on the other hand, Donald Trump's legal team has consistently argued against keeping the identities of the witnesses a secret. In the most recent order, Cannon's partially granted Smith's request to censor names in government documents, writing that the court finds that the special counsel's asserted witness safety and harassment concerns are sufficient at this juncture to, one, shield the names of potential government witnesses and ancillary names in the motions and in the judge from verbal abuse from her detractors. So just stay tuned right there, guys. But first, a quick break just to say my heartfelt thanks all you guys who are watching this video and for showing your love by hitting the like button. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for sharing these videos. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and turning on that notification bell. You guys are amazing. So Judge Aileen Cannon also recently set a new deadline for President Donald Trump, deciding he must reveal by May 9th which secret documents he intends to incorporate into his defense during the Mar-a-Lago trial. This comes as a little bit of a blow to special counsel Jack Smith, who has been pushing for an earlier deadline of March 18th and hoping for a trial start date by July 8th. Despite this new timeline, it's a tighter squeeze than Donald Trump's team initially wanted. They had asked for June 17th deadline and even pushed for the case to be delayed indefinitely until or at least after the upcoming election. The process is a crucial early step on the path to trial, setting the stage for what's to come, even though opening arguments are still a long way off. By choosing a middle ground between the dates Trump and Smith proposed, and said that a motion for Cannon to be removed is possible but will be extraordinarily rare. He said that there is a procedure for this, and it can happen sometimes where prosecutors will ask the judge or will ask the appeals court to remove a federal judge from the case. He called it a pretty precipitous move. Second of all, if you lose, you kind of have an awkward scenario where you've asked the judge to be kicked off. He does make a good point there. Now, if you think about it, it just kind of goes to show the lengths that Jack Smith may be willing to go just to remove Judge Cannon from the equation. equation. You know what I mean? Now I'm telling you guys, if there were ever a time to tune in, now will be it. Don't miss out on a single update. I just want to thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing and sharing these videos, and I'll see you on the next one.